doesn't beep. That used to be my favorite story. Because it's true and because it caused chaos. Yeah, stores in America started losing stock. They didn't know what was happening. Yeah, because they were like, what's happening? Nothing's beeping. You know? And they were like, is there anything strange going on? They're like, no, some people are just shaking when they leave. But we don't know what it is. I was like, that's something that could never happen in South Africa. Like, yeah, South African security guards, they don't play those games. Because one of the parts that made the story extra special in America was that some security guards didn't want to stop people from leaving the store shaking because they didn't want to offend anybody who might be shaking for other reasons. Yeah, and then they didn't want to offend people. But here, there's no one who's afraid of offending anybody. Which you think there's a security who's scared of wokeness? Ah. In South Africa, here the security guard, he'll just look at you and be like, hey, stop shaking, wana. Hey, susheka apa. Hey. So that used to be my favorite story, by far. Until what I learned at home. Because here's the thing I want to know about this. Who was the first? Eh? Every story has a beginning. Who was that pioneer at home who discovered a flaw in the system and then took advantage of it? Who was that person shopping with their family, buying things for the house, pushing the trolley around, casually, just there like, no, don't get a breadboard, get a breadboard, get a knife there as well, yeah, but get a knife set as well, obviously you want to buy, no, did you get, Dinesh, you got the kettle? No, why are you getting Brabantia there? Why are you getting Brabantia? We don't need Brabantia, right? That's expensive, get a cheap one there. Yeah, it's for your mother-in-law, relax. Bring there, yeah, put it in, right? No, because we got to get all the things right for the house warming. And then what we're going to do? Boom, damn it, the load shedding. Oh, the trolley. Hey, damn it. Hey, the trolley went out the shop there. For a moment, I thought... Hey, Suresh. Did you hear that? No, I didn't hear nothing. Exactly. Bring a PlayStation there. I want to meet that pioneer. You guys don't believe me, go and shake, you'll see. South Africans. Truly, load shedding has changed everything. And I mean, it was bound to happen. When you have that much load shedding, people are going to start, they're going to start adapting to it, right? Hedonic adaptation, it's what happens. When you're in any situation for long enough, you start to adapt to that situation and it becomes the new norm. That's what's happened in South Africa. Because now it's like, stage 6 load shedding. You're like, what? It's wild. The wildest load shedding I experienced was 4 hours in the morning and then again 4 hours at night. I'm sorry, guys. Can we have an agreement? Can we just make an agreement here in South Africa? And let's just say, at some point, we can't keep calling it load shedding. Yeah, because load shedding implies that there is a load that needs to be shed. But now, if there is more shedding than load, we have to find another name. Right? It's like it's misleading now. Like at some point, we're going to have to name it by the time where there is electricity, not by the time where there isn't electricity. You know what I mean? Yeah, at some point, you're just going to be like, it's time for power hour.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Power Hour. That 1 hour in the day when you get electricity to use all of your appliances. Our number one contestant for today is Tembi. Tembi, what are you going to be doing with your 1 hour of electricity?
I'm gonna be using my blender to make a smoothie.
Ha ha, Tembi, that's it, Power Hour. Proudly brought to you by Escom.
Oh, man. Oh. By the way, what is Cyril doing about the load shedding? No, I ask because I've been trying to find out, and I can't find any information on it. He used to give press conferences every day during COVID, and then now he's gone. What is he doing? Do you know? Because I can't find nothing. He's doing nothing? That's an interesting approach. It's a really interesting one. I'll be honest, man, I don't know how to feel about Cyril's presidency. I don't know how to feel about Cyril's presidency. Because he was promised as the person who would bring consistency, right? I didn't know it would be like consistent load shedding. And it's crazy when you think of how it began. You know, when Cyril became president, South Africans were ecstatic. It reverberated around the world. Newspapers would report, is this the turning point for South Africa? People in the streets here were so happy. They called it Ramaphoria. Remember that? They said it was Ramaphoria. I saw him in Cape Town walking along the promenade. People were cheering for him. He was taking pictures with babies. And then now, you come back a few years later, those babies are deleting their pictures. I feel like Cyril is the most disappointing president this country's ever had. Honestly, I feel like Cyril is the most disappointing president this country has ever had. Not the worst president, not the worst president, the most disappointing president. There's a difference. There's a difference, yeah. Because we all know who the worst president was. Yeah. Hendrik Verwoerd. But Cyril is the most disappointing. The reason I say disappointing is because disappointment lives in the gap between expectation and reality. Cyril came in at the highest level of expectation. And now we're sitting here in a reality that's so far from what we expected. You know? Whereas with Zuma, say what you want about Zuma. Say what you want about Jacob Zuma. We weren't disappointed. We were shocked, but we weren't disappointed. Because remember, guys, that passport, right? You say woo because you don't know what it comes with. Tandaga, you're clapping already. Yay! Didn't even ask about terms and conditions. Because I read the terms and conditions of having an American passport. There are many things that I don't like. First and foremost, I will have to be subject to the American legal system. Yeah. I'm not enthusiastic about that, I'm not gonna lie. Because I never planned to do anything wrong in America. But in the back of my head, I always thought if something was to be done by me, I felt good knowing they would have to deport me. They would be like, you're guilty, you're deported. And I'd be like, no. And then I'd come home and be like, Maracas, you must know, South Africa, you guys know, you know what happens. Sometimes, man, you never know. Why did Rihanna leave her iPhone like that? No, but I seriously don't want to be involved in the American justice system. Because they say it's justice, but it's terrifying. You don't know how they'll treat you. You don't know why they'll treat you. The scariest part for me is what happens in courts. Because they have a jury system in America. I'm terrified of that. Terrified of it. For those who don't know, I'm sure you've seen it on TV, but for those who don't know, the American system is very different to the South African one. In South Africa, you have the judge, you have the prosecution, and you have the defense. Right? That's who your case is working with, and the judge decides. The judge has studied, they're learned, they know what's going on. And you can talk to them on their side. I'm joking. But I like knowing that person had to go to school to figure out whether I broke the law. In America, it's a different system. They have a judge, they have a prosecution, and they have a defense, but they also have a jury. A jury. 12 people who are randomly gathered, randomly picked, who decide your fate. These people do not need to have studied the law. They don't need to understand the law. They don't even need to have watched Law and Order. Now they're deciding your fate. Dun, dun. I don't want that in my life. Yeah, I don't want that, and I don't want to be on a jury either. That's what comes with getting an American passport. You now have to be on a jury. I don't want to be on a jury. You know why? Because I'm South African. Yeah, and you're probably wondering, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. I read the rules of being on a jury, and I realized South Africans can never be on a jury. Yeah, because there's certain rules when you're on a jury. One of the most important rules right at the top of the list is if you are on a jury, if you're serving on a jury, you may not express your feelings or emotions about anything that is happening during the case. You may not talk about it, and you may not, during the case at any time, on the trial, you may not on the bench, you may not say anything. Anything, yeah, when the jury is standing, like you can't express, you can't do anything. South Africans, immediately disqualified. You tell me which South African is gonna be able to sit there during a trial, hiding all their emotions. Which South African? That case is gonna be going on. Bah, bah. Prosecution can start. Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this man burned down his home for the insurance money. Ha! Bah, bah, bah. Order! Order! The jury shall be silent. Completely silent. Oh, sorry. You insurance. You. Mr. Michaels, where were you the night of the fire?
I was walking. I wasn't at my house.
You weren't anywhere near the house?
No, I wasn't.
Then tell me, Mr. Michaels, why did your clothes smell like gasoline? I didn't talk. And can you imagine a South African jury deciding your case? You would never know which way the verdict would go. The judge would be there. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you got your verdict? We have, Your Honor. How do you find? We find the defendant guilty. Okay, and why is that? He didn't greet. Yeah, he just came in here. Well, nothing, no greeting, nothing. Yeah, magaham. I choose South Africa every day of the week. You know when I realized this? When it solidified in my mind.